To be or not to be. Everything we see is a shadow cast by that which we do not see. If a man hasn't discovered something that he will die for, he isn't fit to live. Seeing is not always believing. We are not makers of history, but made by history.
Speaking as a doctor, I think your daughter ought to be heavily sedated and immediately institutionalized.
Well, speaking as a lawyer, I can only say that your daughter suits the criminal profile to a T. Right down to the low-sloping forehead and the wide jaw suitable for grains and small rodents.
I think you must have her confused with your mama. That's it, Uncle Phil. You're grounded.
No, I'd be happy to prescribe something for that.
There's a social construction of masculinity. And I think for what we call hegemonic masculinity, that man has to be Christian, he has to be middle class or wealthy, a property owner, Christian, heterosexual, within a certain age group. And those are probably some of the categories or criteria for hegemonic masculinity.
He should be educated. Whether it's an institution of higher learning or a associate degree, or just even complete high school and specialize in a skill.
I believe society categorizes the male as someone who's supposed to be strong despite his personal circumstances. There's little room to show emotion unless that emotion is categorized towards, celebration or extreme loss. There's no middle ground generally when it comes to how society views, emotions in a man, basically.
In Black America, there seems to be this notion that real men don't cry. And I would challenge that.
It's nothing bad for a man to cry. Everybody needs to cry sometimes. So I don't agree with the thing that a man is not supposed to cry, because he is supposed to.
Society tells us that women are supposed to be the ones that are overly expressive with their emotions. So I would kind of want a man that wasn't that way.
Or at least knows how to control his emotions.
Exactly.
You don't just suppress them, just channel them.
Right.
I think the male is expected to be the goal setter, the person of strength, the person of character, the person who keeps the family or the child on course, the person who determines if our goals are realized, the person who's expected to fund the ability to reach those goals. I think that's kind of the expected role of the man.
Man gets up in the morning, he lists the top 10 things he has to worry about when throughout the day, regardless of what he does. Things like rape are not on the list. Things assault and battery and things of that nature are just not on the list, because by the fact of him being a man, he's less susceptible to be the victim of such a occurrence.
Because I'm in law enforcement, men have a privilege of being more respected in my career field. I get challenged a lot more because I am a woman. And most men, I think, when they're hiring for positions like CEOs, CFOs, any type of executive position, I think they kind of stray toward men, especially if they're trying to fill a quota. Like if they need to have an African American, they can do an African American male, and they fulfill that black quota. But then sometimes it can fall the other way with women. But I still think men have an advantage when it comes to holding executive positions in major companies.
I noticed in some of the African American churches, the female is not allowed to minister in the pulpit. She has her place, like maybe the mother or in the choir or so forth, like that. Whereas when you look at the percentage of females that's in the church, the parishioners, and the percentage of the males, it's more 80-20, and we just don't get the respect that we should have.
If you look at Catholicism, the popes are men. You don't see women. They haven't even started talking about having a woman pope. It's like not on the radar. When you look at the black church, the institution of the black church, not individual black churches, but the institution of the black church is still maintained by black men, by black male leaders in our country. When you think about Islam and Judaism, those as an institution, those are male institutions, male-dominated institutions, male-run institutions.
Hello, everybody.
Now, children, what do you say when you meet a nice man?
Are you my daddy?
During the 60s and the 70s, when the females were allowed housing, well, given housing in the projects or subsidized housing, and the male could not reside there with his wife or his girlfriend or significant other and the children. So he was more or less pushed out of the home. And it appears that since that happened during that particular period, he has not taken on responsibility and accountability for his offsprings. I would like to see that reversed. I would like to see more teaching toward the young male for his responsibility to his offsprings, even though he's not in the home, to not abandon them and let them grow up like weeds.
My father's from Belize, so it's kind of a West Indian, Caribbean type of culture, type of background. So coming from that, being raised in that, you know, that way, I was always told, and men were always depicted as a man should have that strong sense of family. A man should take care of the family, and a man should, you know, get education so he can educate his children. So just that strong sense of family.
You like to beat women? Don't never get up again. Hear me? Hear me?
At like mechanic shops and stuff like that, oh my God, they'll try to run you.
Right.
I mean, really.
But what I have noticed is, being a police officer, if I go in uniform, I'm treated with a little more respect than if I go in with my heels and my jeans and things on. You know, if I go in looking girly girl, then I'm not treated as with much respect as if I go in